another famous rabbi from the Netherlands. We're trying to explore some of the life of some of the Dutch rabbis over here. And today I'm going to speak about Rabbi Isaac ben Mattathiah Aboab, famous rabbi of his time. I believe he actually passed away around the year 1720. I think he was born in the year 1650 in Amsterdam, in Netherlands. He was an early, let's say, especially during the very early part of the 18th century, a rabbinic scholar, and he was a chacham of the Portuguese congregation in Amsterdam, which was a very, very prominent position and something we've spoken about on various occasions before. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the famous Rabbi Isaac. Now, he was born around the year 1650 in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam. His father happened to be a famous person, Mattathiah Aboab. He was a representative, his father was, of a congregation called Bet Jacob. And he was a cousin of another famous rabbi, Rabbi Isaac de Fonseca Aboab. And in fact, Rabbi Isaac would, the names would actually be very, because it's the same name, people confuse the two rabbis. So he would, I think, add on the name Fonseca to his name in order to distinguish between him and his cousin, because they were both rabbis also. Now, in the early years, Rabbi Isaac ben Mattathiah Aboab became a friend of a learned person named William Sorenhuisius, I believe. And later, he would write a book of exhortation and admonition for his son, which appeared at Amsterdam in the year 1687. That's reported over in Wikipedia over here. It will be under the title called Exhortaco Arak Os Tementes Dos Enhorna Observanak Dos Requitios de Su Sile. My Dutch is not the best in the world. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Now, a number of his works exist, I think, still in manuscript. Among them was a genealogy of the famous Aboab family, which is spoken about on various occasions before, and the Comédie de la Vie des Successeurs de Joseph. And now he passed away in Amsterdam, I believe, in the year 1720. He did. Now, it's actually interesting. He wasn't the first Isaac Aboab. I believe there was another great Spanish biblical commentator of the name Rabbi Isaac Aboab, who passed away, I think, in January 1493, at the time period of the Spanish Inquisition. And I think it was called like the Last Gaon of Castile, someone of his name. I don't know if maybe it was his great-great-great-grandfather. And he was actually, I think the family was actually expelled under the decree of Ferdinand and Isabella in the year 1492. I think his great-great-grandfather, this descendant who happened to be Isaac Aboab, was one of the most respected Jews of the land, and he went into Lisbon, I think, in order to negotiate with King John II at that point in time. And he was very, very close with many other great rabbis and chroniclers. I think he was a rabbi, I would talk about his great-great-grandfather, of Rabbi Abraham Zacuto, and which we mentioned about before. And I think Rabbi Zacuto would actually be very close to him, and his, let's say, different speeches with regards to him was actually chronicled over. To speak a few more words with regards to Rabbi ben Mattathiah Aboab, Isaac, he was also a contemporary of Rabbi Isaac de Fonseca Aboab, and remember, in Amsterdam at that point in time, there was a growing community. There was many chachamim, and he himself happened to be the chacham of the Portuguese community there. He was a friend of, as I said before, Sorenhuisius, and within regards to his writings, many of his writings left in manuscript at that point in time, which I recommend everyone to actually look into. There was many great rabbis from the Aboab family. Maybe we'll do a special edition exploring the history of some of the great rabbis that actually descended from this family. Now, the family name Aboab, I think, is an ancient Spanish family, and many of these people from the Aboab family would go on to become great scholars. It's actually reported over, actually chronicled in encyclopedia, Jewish encyclopedia. Their authenticity can be traced back even to the 13th century. And many representatives, I think, in recent times can be found in Holland, in Italy, Turkey, Africa, and America. Now, some of the branches of the family, obviously various names come up. Abraham, Isaac, also Yitzhak, Jacob, Yaakov, Joseph, obviously Joseph, and Samuel, Shmuel, frequently occur. And through a genealogically point of view, you can actually see through the family tree this. Through marriage, and I think by following the Spanish custom of joining together paternal and maternal names, various different families would come about, especially from the Aboab family, including Cardoso, Aboab, Lopez, for example, Coronel, and Aboab the Paz. There's various different families, and they actually suggest over here in the encyclopedia to search. I think there's a list at the end of the D.H. de Kostros, the synagogue, if I'm not mistaken, which contains various different names within regards to the rabbis. Most notably, among the main famous rabbis or people among the Abraham include Abraham ben Yaakov Aboab. I'm not too sure which ones are rabbis and which ones aren't, so I'll say a rabbi. Daniel Semach Aboab, David Aboab, Elijah or Eliyahu Aboab, Emmanuel Aboab, Isaac Aboab. We're speaking about those four Isaac Aboabs. Isaac Aboabs, which mentioned around, and there was one Isaac von Seca Aboab, who distinguished his name with the other Rabbi Isaac who we're speaking about today. There was also a Rabbi Isaac Semach Aboab, Rabbi Jacob Aboab, Judah Aboab, Mattathiah Aboab, that would happen to be his father, Raphael Aboab, and Samuel Aboab. So it was a famous family of his time. Now, please learn more about the famous rabbi. He was another one of the great rabbis from the Netherlands. And watch over the video we did. We did a video covering the history of Dutch Jewry over especially the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st century. A special edition we did about a week ago. I'd recommend everyone to watch that. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're learning about famous rabbis of yesterday. If you descend from any of the great Chachamim we are speaking about in this series, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. If you feel anyone's interested in watching any of these videos, please share these videos to other people also. We're a growing community. We're an online encyclopedia. And if you want any more information, please let me know. Subscribe now, and wish you all a fantastic day, friends. Be well. Thank you.